Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, first of all, allowing me an opportunity to interview you. I am Shailendra, and as I mentioned, that we are running this as an initiative called as Forgotten Warriors. Under this initiative, we will be doing a lot of interviews with Indian Defense Forces personals, and whatever income we'll have through this YouTube channel, down the line, we'll share 70% of that with those defense warriors who are in need, and 30% for the promotion of this channel, so that we can reach maximum audience. The other aim of this channel is to create awareness, more and more awareness about Indian Defense Forces. I think in India, most people know about Defense Forces, but my aim is to tell our young generation that why this is one of the option for them as an occupation means, and this can be one of the potential option for them in the future. So with that, I'd like to give a small introduction about you, whatever the research I have done, and then I'll give it to you to probably add something more to that, so that people who are going to watch this interview can know more about you. So, ma'am was among the one of the biggest batches of Indian Air Force. She was in the 25 SSCW FP course, and she did serve Indian Air Force from 2006 to 2016, if I'm right. And I think you were flying AN-32 transporter aircraft of Indian Air Force. So, ma'am, I'll request you to add something which I was not able to research over the internet about yourself, uh, just like about your childhood, where did you do the schooling, what was the inspiration behind you joining Indian Air Force, uh, and and something more. So I'll give it to you, ma'am.
Okay, Shailendra, first of all, good morning, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be a part of your this endeavor called Forgotten Warriors.
Right.
And I'm sure we need that much of enlightenment and knowledge about defense in our country, though mostly the general public is aware about it. But where the inhibitions comes is sending their own children to be a part of this organization. And nowadays, you see, we are developing a lot, and the pandemic has seen a huge difference. And lots and lots of professions which were not there in the limelight during our time have become so active nowadays. If you search the various plethora of professions that are available right now, defense has definitely taken a backseat.
Okay.
As a profession.
Right.
So it is very nice that you are trying to motivate people, especially the younger generation, to join defense, because defense is not just a profession, it's a culture. Right. It's a way of life. Right. It makes you a complete human. So, defense in itself is a family.
Okay.
We go to office, we come back. We never say the office is my family. But in Air Force, we say Air Force is our family. So that's a very big difference when it comes to being a part of defense. For introducing myself, you've done justice to whatever you have said with respect to defense. I am from the city of Kolkata in West Bengal. I have been born and brought up here, studied here in a very good school called the G.D. Birla Center for Education, where I had a lot of exposure to studies as well as extracurricular activities, sports. I have also been a sports person for about 4 to 5 years, playing table tennis in the state and national level. And I was always a lot oriented towards outdoor physical activities.
Okay.
And even I was managing my studies well along with all those things. I had done my engineering from Bangalore. And then I decided to join Air Force, which was not something which happened as a career planning, but which was my dream from, I might say, when I was in class 6 or 7.
Okay.
So Air Force was not my dream. Becoming a pilot was a dream.
Okay.
Because I used to travel with my father, who was an avid traveler during my vacations. And I had the opportunity at that time when commercial flying had not restricted people to get into the cockpit. I had the opportunity once or twice to go into the cockpit as a child in Air India flights and see the atmosphere from there. So what a pilot sees out from the cockpit, the world, how it looks, and the machines and all that. It had left such a mark in my mind that from a very small age, I wanted to be a pilot.
Okay.
But The inspiration behind my joining Air Force was my grandfather, who was also in the Air Force in the medical stream. He close to him the being that if you want to know what is flying, you want to enjoy the experience of flying, then you should be a part of Air Force. And since he knew me that I was a person who was an outgoing person, I liked sports, I was good at studies also, I was adventurous. So he told me that for a person like you, Air Force would be the right channel for you to achieve everything that you want in your life. And that is where the seed was put for me. And then, but I did my engineering because if you know, I got the knowledge that during the examination of Air Force, we have a test called the PABT test, which is once in a lifetime. And if you fail that test, you don't become a pilot in Air Force ever again.
True.
So I didn't want to risk that chance that if I fail and I don't become a pilot in Air Force, then I should have a career B with me. And that is why I did my engineering. In fact, keeping that,
ma'am,
yes,
these were my subsequent question down the line, that who was your inspiration? Did you decide to join Indian Air Force or Indian Defense from the very starting, or was it a systematic career plan? And in fact, PABT was also my question. I will come to PABT definitely down the line, because because we have heard in our school that PABT is once in a lifetime chance, and if you fail, you are not eligible after that to join aviation industry, aviation inside Indian Defense Forces. So, ma'am, I think you mentioned that your grandfather was the inspiration behind you joining Indian Air Force or becoming a pilot. That could have been a civil aviation, or that could have been a defense. But again, you decided to join defense because that will
no.
Okay.
I'll just try to correct you here. It couldn't have been civil aviation. My grandfather was a member of the defense family. He was serving the Indian Air Force. He was a retired.
Ma'am, I'm losing you in between.
He told me.
Sorry, I lost you in between. There was some problem.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. There was some problem in the network earlier.
So I was telling that my grandfather was a part of the Air Force, and he told me that if you want to become a pilot, you should become an Indian Air Force pilot only.
Okay.
So I didn't have the consideration of joining civil aviation at all.
Okay.
If I want to become a pilot, I have to become an Indian Air Force pilot. That was the seed sown into me.
So, in fact, with your answer, I can consider that your grandfather was your biggest ally in joining Indian Air Force.
Definitely.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And when you took this decision, you came to Bangalore, you did your engineering, right? And then after doing engineering, going to join Defense Force would have been a big decision, right, for anybody, because I think when you did your engineering was booming at that time, right? Software engineering was all-time high, 2001, 2000.
Bangalore was the place.
Bangalore is
for software engineers.
In fact, I am right now in Bangalore. I myself is a software engineer, and it's a booming city. It's the IT capital of India.